Guys, we have a beautiful turnout. Thank you all very much. Really, thank you all very much for joining. I'm gonna pass the floor quickly to Muzna if she has any words to say before Mu'taz and Rima kick it off. But also before starting, Mu'taz and Rima, wonderful job. You guys did a great job. So thank you so much. And we'll
Thank you.
be looking into the findings of the focus group that was held in the last month.
Inshallah.
Thank you, Ktir Youssef. Again, I thank you guys very much for everything you have been doing. It will have an impact for many years to come for Mela. وإذا بتحبوا بنقدر نبلش هلا. ريماء كنتي طالعة أظني قطع عندك فهلا you're back. Great. So we can start. Can you unmute yourself, Rima, please?
بس معتز بده يبلش.
بس Rima, you're fine?
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'll be monitoring the chat in case anyone has a question, so we can ask all the questions at the end. Okay?
I ask you just to give me share so I can
Sure.
share my slides.
Sure.
طيب, again, أهلا. Welcome to everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Today we are here to share with you the results of the focus group exercise that we did almost a month ago. Just to give you a background on why this happened. I'm part of the task force under the supervision of Dr. Iyad Masrouji, and I'm working with Ruba Tawu and Hamad from Oman as well. We're working on the, sorry, does that, when you make me co-host, do I have to start admitting people?
No, I'll take care of that. Just for you
okay.
to share the documents you want.
Okay. So we were working on the task force for the bylaws, and when we were starting to write stuff down, we realized that Mela is so complex and so rich, and that we needed more direction and more definition in terms of issues relating to recruitment, relating to the definition of Mela, where we want to go as members with this beautiful network. So we decided to do a focus group that would go back to the members and ask them specifically what they thought about the network. And then we decided to do this focus group with a number of people selected. We tried to be as diverse as possible. Rima will now tell you about the methodology. But before we do so, I would like to also thank Layouth Al-Habsi from Oman and Farid Dagher from Lebanon for being excellent moderators during the focus groups. And thank everybody who have participated for their input. To be honest, when you look now, you will see the results, it's very encouraging. We're in a very healthy situation and a transitional point of view, 10 years of success, and now we're moving towards a new level of the network. And everything, to be honest, once you see it, is very encouraging. A lot of stuff we already knew, but we wanted to be confirmed. Other stuff give us direction towards where we want to go. What's going to happen today is that me and Rima will go through the 6 questions. We're only going to read for you maybe the top 3 answers that were voted, the most voted. The entire report will be sent to you, so you can read it all on your time and take your time with it, and you can ask us any questions after, for sure. So once we do the 6 questions, we'll give the floor to Youssef, our chairman, who will tell us, so what are we going to do with this information? So Youssef will tell us, as the chairman of Mela, what's going to happen with these points, what are the findings. Once we're done with that, then we'll open the floor for everyone to ask questions. So please, just to be organized, you have the chat box. From now on, anything we say, just write, I have a question, or write your question down, so that once we're done, we can go in the correct order so that we're organized. Other than that, I think I'm going to give the floor. Let me share the slides. It's showing, correct? طيب. Let me do this. I'm going to start with Rima, who's going to talk to you a little bit about the methodology, and then we're going to go to the 6 questions, and then Youssef. Thank you, guys.
شو كمان بدي احكي لكم كيف how we're gonna present to you will be very very informative. رح نقرا السؤال ورح نقرا جوابه. هلا ما في any opinion there وما في my personal views ولا معتز personal views. It's just a narrative of what is there as is. I will take you through the question and the answer, and it is a straightforward kind of narrative. Okay. فرح نبلش بالquestions معتز، وزي ما حكينا any question guys فينا نكتب على الchat box، و in all cases everything will be tackled after أنا ومعتز ويوسف are done، عشان بس to have a more systematic and organized and to have a more structured system. Okay?
Thank you, Rima. The first question was, why did you join Mela? That was the first question. The top votes were, we got 8 votes for the reason why they joined Mela, because of a trustworthy referral. We also got 8 votes for the concept of the masterclass, and the network in general was intriguing. Also, we got 5 votes because people were looking for a personal and professional network. That's the first question. Second question.
Okay.
They got the whole state after for what they've been doing against kids.
Sorry guys, ايش في؟
They're still there.
If somebody is not muted, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, second question is, what is the professional background that you would dream to find in your Mela fellow member? هاي بالضبط اللي كنت عم بشرح عنها بالبداية about the methodology. It was more on the basis of we need to understand people's aspirations as well as their specific needs and identified wishes. فعشان هيك استخدمنا كلمة dream. وطبعا when you use this kind of language, people would go more, will explain more and be able to express themselves more, etc. But anyhow, what was highest votes came to entrepreneurs with proven accomplishment. This is very important to put some focus on. 7+ years of experience came with 6 votes. Third rank is with 5 votes is established leaders voted by Yusuf. The thing to mention, why do we have here على السكرين is نقولكم إنه they were very open to industries, they were very open to sectors, يعني they're okay with family business, multinational, governmental, NGOs. It didn't matter to them. They were very open to industries, and they were open to me having identified tourism and every sector.
Third question, what is the expected added value from future Mela fellows? We have 12 votes for people who are involved, people who volunteer and are committed to the network. We also have 12 votes for people who are great at networking, create personal, business, and government connections. We also have 7 votes for people who are givers and people who add value. Fifth question.
Okay, this is a tough one. This is a disappointment. Mu'taz, this is your question?
Sorry. Sorry, this is you. So sorry. So the fourth question is yours.
Okay, fourth question. Explain your best Mela experience. Obviously, it revolved mainly about the connections between people. 19 votes came for connections with members, new circle of friends and family feel, which is something اشتغلت عليه من أول ما تأسست هو شعور الفامily and so on. Overall master class experience واللي راح أحكيه هلا came in that rank. يعني Michael Cooley sessions ranked at number 1, learning groups number 2, capstone project 3, and simulation exercises at 4. These came with 17 votes. Third option was 11 votes for meeting new people and meaningful conversations in summits and reunions. So this is not the first point The first point was about making connections regardless where. Third point is in summits and reunions, and this was highlighted.
Okay, the fifth question is explain a disappointment you've experienced as a Mela member. We had 10 votes saying poor management and communications. We had 8 votes saying that the masterclass raised the bar too high. And then there was a letdown post-masterclass with no clear agenda and high quality events on chapter level. We also had 8 votes for disappointment, which is a lack of commitment from members. And the last question, sorry.
اوكي هون رح شوي اشرح because اذا بتعرفوا احنا within the qualitative feedback which is the focus group سالنا هذا السؤال but then we thought that maybe because بالfocus group كان في عنا 20 plus people maybe this specific question has to have better representation from the whole network فرجعنا بعتنا quantitatively يعني one question sent everybody عليه multiple choice to all the network members إجانا 149 answers وكان البريك داون تبعهم on 44% تقريبا حكوا business network providing business collaboration for professionals, profit and non-profit and job opportunities for full-time employment or short-term contracts. Again, this is pure business. 37.5% حكوا leadership development network providing tools and engagement for leaders in the network to improve their personal and professional lives. Again, this was the first rank is business, the second is leadership, the third is learning, how personal growth and lifelong learning, providing exposure to like-minded people with access to varied learning topics. So this is important to say. أول شيء, this represents around 50% of the members in total. This rank came very clear, straightforward that business is number 1, leadership is number 2, ongoing learning is number 3.
Okay, these were the 6 questions. Like we told you before, we just literally read what the top 3 answers were. We're going to resend you everything along with Yusuf's comments. And now we're going to leave it up to Yusuf to tell us, what does this all mean? What do these all findings mean? The floor is yours, Yusuf. Thank you.
So much pressure, guys.
You can do it.
No, thank you. Seriously, thank you, Martez. You put this together so perfectly. You conducted this exercise in such a great way, especially the way you framed these questions. There was a lot of thought put into this, and it really allowed us, and it gave us a lot of insights into what is going on in our members' minds, and mainly our engaged members, and basically what can we do? How can we develop our plan, and how can we develop our organization's future? I also wanted to thank our members again for taking part of this exercise. We had a separate exercise with our board members, so thank you to our board members as well. You were very transparent with us and you shared your feedback with us very openly, so thank you. I'm just going to say, why are we all here? Why are we all part of this network? Why are we part of this organization? All of us have aspirations, all of us have goals, and all of us want to achieve something. And the whole idea is really, we need to add value to each other. Now, I'll share something with you. For example, the focus group, the bylaws. I'm sure some of you must have heard of the platform that we're working on. I'll talk a little bit later about it under BCG. BCG itself, all of the, the COVID-19 relief initiatives, these are all member-led initiatives. All these ideas have come from you guys. It's nothing that we did. Our job really is to get those things implemented, is to hear you out and see how we can add value, how Mela, how this network can add value to you. Now, I'll start off basically by, talking a bit about the masterclass. Our masterclass has been, a successful event. It's allowed us to build strong network of leaders who really feel a bond and are pleased with the personal and professional connections and the friendships that they make. We have a lot of success stories within Mela, and I believe, you know, the masterclass truly does deliver on its promise to be life-changing. Now, just taking a few of the challenges that came up from what Mu'taz and Rimat presented, I think you can sum them up very easily. So what stood out the most is, of course, you know, there's a lack of definition of Mela. You know, the vision, the strategy, there's a lack of structure, there's a lack of a clear action plan. And this was mainly reflected, you know, by the dissatisfaction with the Mela management and communications on all levels of the network. This could also be one of the reasons why, you know, we lack engagement with our members and frustration as well once the masterclass is over. In addition, this also translates, or this lack of strategy could filter down or translate into an unclear application of a recruitment strategy. I think recruitment stood out there. That was the fourth thing that Mu'taz didn't really mention, but I believe that recruitment is so important for this organization because it's the people that we bring in part of this family and the people that can add value to each other. So I'll just give you a quick definition of Mela. All right, so Mela is a community of interconnected, up-and-coming, high-potential Middle Eastern business leaders. Now, does that really reflect what our members want? You know, why do our members feel a lack of definition then? You know, this is because definition may be inconsistent with what our members are looking for, and it does not translate into a well-communicated strategy. Now, to me, honestly, it's not surprising that most of our members voted that, you know, we are a business network, and that is the priority in terms of the core purpose of Mela. Let me be clear, we are a leadership network, you know, and developing leaders in the region is in our DNA, and nothing is going to change that. The masterclass is at the cornerstone of everything we do at Mela. However, we need to focus on what comes after the masterclass. Because for me, leadership is not going to keep us engaged, business will. This exercise really also indicated to us that our members are more eager for business, they're more eager to do business, and we need to keep this as a priority on all levels. For example, you know, we need to keep it in mind when we're looking at recruitment or developing initiatives that can really create business value. While recruiting, we need to consider candidates and even board members who will add business value to the network. Our management team should work on platforms or events that could enable our members to do more business with each other. Now, if you saw, the referral of our candidates is very crucial to the growth of the network, and it is very effective. But still, poor quality of recruits was voted as one of the disappointments from our members. Now, really, this indicated that the executive management and our chapter presidents must communicate very clearly to our members what we're looking for in this candidate. You know, we really need to move away from referring people just because of our social ties and move towards referring people based on adding value. And the sole purpose really should be to benefit the network and its members. You know, members must really ask themselves when they're referring, they should see that what are this, apart from the professional qualifications, you know, is this person accomplished enough, you know, as a leader? Are they aligned with our values, you know, and are they very important? Are they eager to give back to the network? I think that's quality that's super important. The masterclass I said that, and it ranks as one of the best experiences for most of our members. And at all seasons, now this indicated to us that, you know, the learning committee and our executive management should continue to evaluate the masterclass, evaluate its offerings, And we really need to elevate the program and address whatever is trending today in terms of leadership topics. We need to continue to innovate in the way we structure the masterclass. And very important, we need to focus on what comes after the masterclass. Developing a post-masterclass program, for continued learning, for continued development. The reunion, it's a great model, to be honest, but I think it can really be developed more in terms of its content. And if there's anything we learned from this year, it's incorporating some kind of virtual content post the masterclass can be very beneficial. So I'm just going to sum things up and tell you what to do more, because saying that we have like-minded people, it's really not enough. We need to define exactly who we're looking for, what are the achievements, the diversity, the industries, the skill set, the energy that these people will bring. One of the main things that stood out in the board focus group was, we should be focusing on entrepreneurs. So I don't want people to think that, okay, that's, the full direction that we're going to go and just look for people who have startups or who are, true entrepreneurs. I think what they meant by that is people who would really bring the energy of an entrepreneur. And that is important for us. And these people really, it will help define, what caliber we are looking for and the value they will add to you, they will add to our network. So part of this year's developed strategy, we included a more targeted definition of a Mela candidate. So Rania has done a great job on working on the years of accomplishment. So enough up and coming part of some accomplishment. The position is important, as well as community service, volunteering, and their desire to back. Rania is also working with the on local levels or with the chance gaps that the chapter members have as it relates to, let's say, gender diversity or industry representation. To our screening this year, we included recruitment task force. So this is made up from members from all our sister networks to really help us and for them to define the candidate and what is a clear understanding of the global character and the benefits of this network. The second part, which is on the management and the communication part, I think this has a lot to do with expectations. So the more we understand, the more we will be able to do. Firstly, we're adding a lot of structure to our bylaws. Clearly it's going to define what Mela stands for, what are the roles, responsibilities of our management, of our board, of our chapter presidents, and all this will be visible to all our members. On top of that, we are also working on adding KPIs starting 2021 for our management team. So we can constantly basically evaluate them, see what they're doing, and it will allow us really to know to keep proper performance and proper records on what they're doing. And then, of course, on the communications part, I think we've and Muzna has done a great job on this. She's been focusing a lot on the one-to-one interactions with our members. I think, really she wants to understand what are their needs, what's going on with them, whether it's their personal life or at work, and really how can we address those needs and how can we support them. On a masterclass, we will continue to develop our masterclass. We'll add more programmatic offerings, and we'll encourage both our management and chapter presidents to constantly engage our members and support our chapters. We do have some chapters that are, less active than other chapters. However, we really need to do more to keep our members engaged And this is what's going to take me on to my next point, which is the last point, I promise. So when I set my strategy, my 2-year strategy as chairman, it revolved mainly around the sustainability of this network, and it had nothing to do about business. But the more I got into the role, the more we started understanding what our members want, and the more we realized that, this is the direction that we need to move towards. So it's simple, if our members want more business development, then we really need to enable that. We have to promote more business within the network, and in order to do that, we need to provide more opportunities to our members to collaborate, to exchange business ideas and opportunities, basically to support each other. Now, we've already started a lot of this work through our business continuity group. By the way, we're going to have a session on the 12th of December. We're going to be making a few important announcements there, so please do attend. Part of that announcement will be rebranding a bit of the business continuity group. We'll be giving it a new name, a new feel. So stay tuned to that. And we're also, the main point actually of the December 12th session would be to celebrate all our members, everything they've done for Mela this year. And we're going to just wrap up on the year and look forward to the next year. So yes, in terms of the BCG, I was saying that basically, it's business continuity. It's a mission basically to add business value to our members, and this will also help on the recruitment side because it will help us attract the last members. It will help us attract the right members to join our network. We're launching a BCG platform very shortly. This platform is a business leads and connections platform. And if you're not already aware, it's very simple. We'll be having all our Mela member details on that platform. So for example, let's say I'm looking for a website developer in the network. I'd rather go through my network to see who is a website developer rather than go outside. And that's the whole idea basically, to create more collaboration between our members. We're also going to try to focus more on recruitment opportunities. So if we have some members moving to different countries within the region, so we can focus on that part as well. Another part is the showcase. So the business showcases, we're going to have another session on the 14th, and I really hope to see you guys there as well. I think that has been a great. We've done the first showcase for Lebanon. The whole idea is for our members to come showcase their businesses and share their asks basically. And we're thinking to open this up to beyond just the members because I think it has a lot of value in it. We plan on having more workshops, more mentoring, so really that we can equip our members with the right skill sets to push them to achieve their full potential and give them the tools to become the most successful business leaders and to create value across the region. That's it from my side.
في بس thank you so much. بس في أحكي شغلة مرة تانية بس نرجع to reiterate a bit about business continuity because عنا enough audience وأنا حاسة إنه maybe as a business continuity member is a good opportunity to talk a bit more about it. Please wrap up. بس after you've done بحب شوي أحكي عن business continuity.
I'm done. Really, I'm done. I see a lot of questions. I hope they're not difficult questions.
هلا we'll see.
بس رح أحكي سريعاً everybody about موضوع البزنس continuity عشان كتير يعني أول شيء it's important to highlight إنه نحن بلشنا البزنس continuity من شهر 3 أو 4 من لما كانت كوفيد خلصت كوفيد وكملنا based on النيدز والاسكس تبعت الممبرز إنه we want a business focused network and that's why business continuity continued وهلا it's more defined into multiple pillars. The one main pillar is to create dialogue within people within the same industry and we call it learning and coaching. So رح يكون في عنا clusters per industry للناس who work in the same field. So هذا رح يخلق dialogue ورح يساعدهم هم to further build on their businesses. That's one dimension or one pillar of the business continuity group. The other pillar, which is another important pillar, which is we call it business advisory عشان وراح نبلشها. We will launch it with people in entrepreneurship or seed phase idea, building a business. Instead of going straight to his potential investors, بيقدر through a panel of expertise or experts in Mela to present his idea. وهاي الناس اللي هي على panel per industry مقسمة تقدر تعطيه feedback على الايديا. هلا هي بالمبدأ it's to provide advice to people who want advice on their business ideas or their new businesses. بس كمان it could open the door for somebody who's interested in a certain business to invest in my idea. If I am presenting to رياض, يمكن رياض يحب يعمل معي أو يوسف أو أحمد يحيى أو معتز يعمل معي this business collaboration. So بالمبدأ في عنا ongoing dialogue and learning under business with a major focus on that. وفي عنا another dimension which is a true business advice coming from a panel of experts. ويمكن at some point through the platform اللي هو third major dimension. البلاتفورم كل حدا بيحط his CV أو بيحط his bio and his area of interest. وبيبقى start, let's say Samer has a business in solar energy وأنا عندي an interest in that field. راح أحكي مع سامر أقول له I'm bidding for this and this dialogue will happen through the platform. أنا عارفة أنا عم بركض بالحكي لأنه في عنا other, this is not the major interest of this or the purpose of this session. فبس بدي أخبركم إنه business continuity has started من ال COVID days بس هلا it has matured into a very different model based على members' needs and requests and aspiration, and it will be announced and launched into phases. But any business inquiry, regardless on learning or opening a dialogue or starting a business and wanting people's help, is being tackled under the business continuity group. That's Allah.
Thank you, Rima. Thank you, Yusuf. We'll go directly to the questions. I apologize. Most of you were sending me to log people in, but when I'm presenting, I couldn't see. That's why.
And just I have put all the questions now on the chat. So
okay. And just one question, they were asking me to send the presentation. This presentation, along with a short summary from what Yusuf has said, will be added. And then we're going to send the whole document to all of you by email so that you can have a look at it. And if you have any questions, of course, you can refer to us back. Let's start with the questions. Welcome, everyone. I think the first question is from Dr. Riyad. About
حطيت كل الأسئلة. If you look at the last chat,
okay,
last one, you have all the questions.
I can't see what you're referring to.
Dr. Riyad, has there been an attempt to engage less active members on why they are less engaged? This is his first question.
So that's the first question.
Yeah, I put them all together so it's easier for you. Can you see my last message?
Yes. So first question is from Dr. Riyad. He's asking, has there been an attempt to engage less active members on and why they are less engaged?
I think it's a very good question, Doctor. See, so I think one of the real mandates of Muzna joining was to find exactly that out. You know, to connect. I think, you know, what Muzna does is, and I think most of you already know, I think most of you already spoken to her. You know, most of you on this call have already spoken to her. You know, she calls at least 2-3 Mela members every day just to get to know them, to understand what's going on, to tell them what's happening in Mela, to understand what's happening in their lives, and basically what can Mela do for them. And I think, you know, a lot of people are also realizing that, you know, the more they come forward with, the more we can do. And that's honestly what I've been trying to do along with the board, along with the management, to try to fulfill what our members are looking for. So I think engagement is super important for the network. You know, and I said, of course, you know, leadership is not going to keep us engaged. It's really business. You know, we're all here to do business in some form, shape, whatever way it is. And I think that is going to be the game changer for us at Mela, without, of course, diverting too much from our roots and what we do, but implementing, you know, leadership within business, I think that is something that could stand out. But really supporting our members.
As well, to add to Yusuf's answer, I think when we concentrate on recruitment, the huge part besides the technical, which is accomplished leaders, we're looking for now in the recruitment for people who are givers, people who will add value. So you can see that in their work. Have they volunteered before? Are they giving people? Once you do that, you're gonna start filtering in people who want to be engaged, want to give back, not just take. And I think the interesting part, Dr. Riyad, will be once we launch the BCG fully and we actually implement it and we have a structure for the network, hopefully this will be, obviously we'll see it after in a year or two, the level of engagement will go up, inshallah. The second question is, which is a very smart question. Two of our big sponsors are big corporations, Shell and PDO. How do we ensure our focus on entrepreneurs in recruitment? Because obviously we have to hire corporate through the sponsors. I'm assuming that's the question.
See, it's a good question again, Doctor. See, I think we need to find the right balance. For example, you know, if you look at Sila, for example, they don't, you know, they don't take corporate sponsorships, and this doesn't force them to, you know, they don't need to compromise basically sometimes on the recruitment. But I think it's a fine balance. I think when I said, you know, entrepreneurs, it's just, you know, it's figuratively. It's not really, you know, you don't have to be an entrepreneur actually. That's not really the target, but it's really more, you know, what I mentioned is the energy that entrepreneur is going to bring. And I think, you know, we have to be more selective, even if we're accepting candidates from, you know, our sponsors. We have to be very selective in who we want part of our network, because this is what defines us. So I think we have to be very careful. You know, a lot of work has been put into the recruitment strategy, and a lot of work needs to be put into the recruitment strategy going forward. And you know, really my vision when it comes to strategy, really my vision is, I want people to say, you know, I have X and I have Y part of this network, and I need to be part of this network. And I think that's what we need to do going forward. So whether it comes from a sponsor or it comes from a non-sponsored member, we still need to be very selective, and you know, we shouldn't compromise on that.
Thank you. Muntasir is asking again, what is the next step? How can we take these results in the formation of a strategic direction? So I guess, and again, there's from Rafal another question that also talks about, I think we need to set targets, what we need and how to achieve it. Then I think he's talking about action plan for maybe what Yusuf has addressed.
I think from a strategic perspective, I think, you know, the business part has been speaking a lot to us. You know, and that's what we've been feeling from our members. And, you know, really, it's not my idea or not even the board's idea. For example, this platform, you know, I said it many times. One of our members, Rada, came up to me and she said, you know, we need to start something like this. So, you know, we said, this is an excellent idea. Let's act on it. The focus group, you know, Mu'taz, Rima, they just, Dr. Iyad, they said, let's do this. Let's understand. Let's see what's happening. So I think from a strategic point, we need to show our members value, and I think that way they will come and give us you know, what they're looking for. But strategically, really, it's about being sustainable as a network. It's about, you know, growing our network in the way that we want to, in the way that, you know, we will bring on more leaders, keep developing leaders, and bring people that you know, that really make this network distinguished and unique, and keep growing. You know, the last 10 years, I think it's just been a great 10 years, but I truly believe, you know, as Mu'taz said, we are truly at a transition point. You know, we have 350 plus members, inshallah, we're only going to keep growing, you know, looking at expanding in Tunisia, for example. That was one of the main reasons we said we'll have the masterclass there, because, you know, opening the whole, you know, opening up to the whole kind of North Africa region, I think there is so much potential and such great caliber that we can bring into the network. So I think in terms of the way we grow, we need to do it strategically, we need to do it smartly, and recruitment falls at the center of all of this, and of course adding value, and mainly through business.
Following up on what you said, there's a comment from Hani Barqawi who believes that the root of the problem starts with the recruitment. So she agrees with you as well. But she's asking a question, criteria should be included as part of the bylaws. Is it? So I can, I guess, answer this. We're putting not the specific criteria, we're increasing, we're using language to emphasize the importance of how to select a member, that the member, we're using a lot of words like somebody who adds value. We're including it in the recruitment strategy in general as you need to look for accomplished, you need to look for established leaders, you need to look for people who will give back. Again, we're describing the details of not only the privileges of a member, but also the responsibilities of a member. We're detailing a lot of other stuff that should all put together would encourage the selection process to be different and more elevated. What will be happening is, and it is happening as we speak, is that they decide on a strategic direction in terms of recruitment. And because of the focus group now, what will be filtered down to the chapters is we need accomplished leaders, we need proven records, we need people who are givers. These are, you know, and obviously entrepreneurship as a spirit or as actual entrepreneurs. But what they did as well was telling us each chapter, each country did analysis of who their members are. So if we lack in Jordan, for example, if we lack entrepreneurs, then the concentration for the recruitment will be on entrepreneurs. But in general, for everybody else, it will be accomplished leaders and people who are givers. These are the big things. Please answer this question. We need to answer why there is less than 50 members attending this session in a 200+ network. Who's asking? Muntasir. Hopefully we're going to get more engagement.
That is our aim, really. That is our aim, you know, that is what we want to do. And if you guys see the value, you know, that we can add to each other, then we will definitely have more than 50. And that's something at the back of, you know, all of our minds, you know, from the board to the management. And inshallah, you know, this will just keep on improving and improving. But we have to add value to our members. That is key.
Rafal again is saying, my request is to set targets, which I agree. KPIs, targets, action plans was not related to the business collaborations only. It should be about the whole picture of leaders supporting each other to reach better life in all different levels, not only business.
Sure, sure. I totally agree. I totally agree with that. Look, at the end of the day, I mean, I think, you know, that was one of the strengths of Mela is I think a lot of us are engaged because, you know, we really share, you know, strong bonds with each other. We've had great experiences together. And you know, and I think most of you know that if you ever knock the door on any of Mela member, on any one of the Mela members, you know, they'll show up and they'll be there for you. And I think that is key to know. And I believe that is already there and it is apparent. But I think strengthening, you know, the more professional side of things will add a different angle. So that's why really I'm trying to focus a lot on that. But of course, I agree we shouldn't neglect or oversee the other part of things.
Muntasir has a question. Should we enhance and enlarge our roots so we can stand on concrete ground before expand? So his question is, he's basically asking, should we be expanding before we strengthen our original, let's say the 9 countries that we're in?
Yeah. Yes, it's a good point. I mean, you know, for me, I think one of the main questions is, you know, I've asked myself, why do we have one member from Bahrain? I mean, there's something that really, really bothers me, to be honest. So I do agree, but at the same time, we're not, you know, going on a crazy expansion and saying, you know, we're going to open up Tunisia, Morocco, and Algeria, for example. You know, we're starting slowly. We built 3 members, or we have 3 members in Tunisia already. You know, they might not all be based in Tunisia, but, you know, especially I know because of the masterclass committee, they're adding a lot of value and there's a lot of potential. So I think we need to do things in parallel. It's not that, you know, we should just focus, you know, on getting things right. I think we should do things, and we can do things in parallel. But of course, we should focus on our base and our foundation at the same time.
Rafal is saying, I think there should be a threshold of qualities for the newcomers. If we have a clear list of values that can be added, then the selection will be fair and acceptable for the whole organization. Again, about recruitment.
Rafal, you're going to be the head of recruitment in the UAE chapter. I'm just saying that out loud now, yeah? Really, I'm telling you guys, recruitment is key. It is key. If we have the right people in the network, then I think we will see the value. But we need to enable that, right? We need to get the right people on board, but also we shouldn't stop there, right? We shouldn't say, okay, let's just get the right people on board and see where this goes. No, we need to implement, right? And that's where, you know, a lot of your input will help us and the direction, because I think it's very clear, you know, this network is your network, you know, it's our network really. So so getting the right you know, people on board is 50, 60, 70%, but then the rest comes with implementation and how we go about that.
We have one more Rafal actually thinks that we should expand to the to North Africa. I was always wondering why they're so limited in certain countries. So he does like the idea of expanding. Dr. Riyad wants to ask a question in person. I'm finding it difficult to articulate in text. So Dr. Riyad, تفضل.
مساء الخير مرة ثانية. I really want to thank everybody and thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk. My question really has to do with this being a business network. And even in the session, I, to be honest, found it difficult to understand what we actually mean by this. And my question really is that there are a lot of business networks out there. Are we going to start now competing with these other business networks? And what will make us different such that we will be attracting others to our business network as opposed to other business networks? And really this question comes from I think the first or the second question that came is what is the priority? Is it the business network or is it the leadership side of things? And I know that the two are not, but I think you're very right in saying that this is a pivotal moment in the network's history. And this is a slight change in our DNA, by the way, at least in my assessment. And I think we need to be conscious of taking that step, but also what does this step really mean? These sessions with the BCGs and all that have been fantastic. I think they are really great. It makes opportunities. They're actually very wide open because people from different industries, different types of entrepreneurs are actually coming in. But what I'm saying is that if we are now becoming more of a business, again, the question is, what are we going to be from a leadership? I don't think anyone can compete with us. I think we offer a brand that doesn't exist anywhere worldwide. But when we come to business networks, what differentiates us?
Thank you, Doctor. Again, very, very good question. See, for us, what it means is we don't need to change our DNA because if I, you know, flip the question back and say, you know, how will leadership keep us engaged? Let's say, you know, because look, the masterclass is the heart of Mela, right? It is what keeps us unique. It is what differentiates us, and you know, that is what binds us together. So I'm not, you know, trying to, or I'm not saying that we're trying to redefine, you know, what the organization stands for. As I said, you know, leadership is our DNA, and we are a leadership network. We should really refrain from saying we're a business network. All we're saying is that we want people to be more engaged, and it's very difficult for leadership in itself to keep people engaged, because how much, you know, how many leadership sessions can we do? How many, you know, talks can we do? So it's very difficult to keep people engaged. But when, you know, but basically when there is business, I think, you know, it's something common with all of us. But we need to keep leadership in the back of our minds in everything we do, you know, because we are a leadership network, and we're not trying to change that, but it's more of, you know, when the business element comes into it, it's more of, you know, something that will keep us more engaged, because if we increase more business interactions between each other, then, you know, we will. And we're not really trying to compete with you know, the other business networks out there. I don't think that's you know, that's fair to, it's fair from our side. It's, you know, it's very important to stick to what we do, because, you know, the past 10 years has proven that we have, you know, been successful at what we do. So we're not really trying to change that, but we need to offer something that will add value. And leadership, I mean, it's very difficult. I mean, I'll maybe ask you the question, Doctor, you know, to keep our members engaged, what can we do from a leadership perspective to keep them engaged, you know, post the masterclass? If you can't, you know, tell me a bit, I will, you know, we can incorporate more of that.
So I'm glad you asked that question, because actually, you know, we keep on saying that masterclass is, you know, is our brand. It is everything, and this is what really attracts everybody. So that is already is a point, is that it's really the leadership aspects that we present in the masterclass that is so unique, and that is what attracts everybody. The disappointment comes later. Now, for me personally, as you might know, I have facilitated in 3 Melas after the one I attended. And to me, the reason why I go back is because, you know, it's a fountain really that you need to go back to and remind yourself of, and you know, that's the aspect of it. And then not only the material sometimes changes, and some, I mean, like in the last one, it's changed quite a bit, but also you've changed, so that the way you receive that material is also different, even if it's the same one. Now, I mean, when you talk about activities related to the reunions and things like that, they tend to be more cultural and aspect, and to my mind is that there is an aspect of it from a leadership point of view, but I would say strengthening that part, to me, is what, this is why, how we stick to our roots, to stick to our DNA. Offering something on the side like the BCG, to me, is, you know, another flavor, and you know, but to me, that's the kind of thing that I would strengthen more, and I would think attracts more. But again, this is where I'm not trying to impose, I'm just trying to understand, because I don't fully yet understand it, if I'm being very frank and honest.
No, thank you very much, Victor.
Rania actually wants to add something. I think you were saying here, Rania, you're unmuted. Rania?
هذه كمان بدها تحكي شيء.
Sure. Rania, we can't hear you.
We can't hear you. Very low.
Rania?
Is this better?
Yes.
So just wanted to add to what Yusuf had said in response to Dr. Riyad's question. I think we've always been competing. So it's not an issue now that we're beginning to compete, but we were not significant players at the time because we were a smaller organization building our membership base. So in addition to our membership, who are quite remarkable, we've got a 47 nation global network. So you have access to executives, professionals, people from around the world, east to west. We're also relatively sector agnostic, which you don't get in a lot of business organizations. And Mela also offers you access to leading coaches, trainers, and a lot of services that in other networks you have to talk about. I hope that answers your question, Riyad.
Thank you, Rania. And I think Hania Barqawi has, she's raising her hand. I'm not sure if this is about this point, Hania.
Yes, it is. I just want to build على اللي حكاه الدكتور رياض. هلا basically رح أحكي from two point يعني من محلي من موقعين. I was part of the curriculum committee for the past 2 years, and I worked with Dr. Riyad and everybody else to pull يعني to tweak or خلينا نقول adjust the curriculum for the master class. هلا at the same time لما معتز ولما عملوا لي presentation, I just noticed something إنه أغلب الناس ردوا إنه what you like most بالmaster class. Everybody said number 1 ranked was Michael Cooley's session. All right. Then لما رحنا على what do you need from the network, we need business. Okay. So basically, as part of the curriculum committee for the past 2 years, I want to meet with the committee and discuss how we're going to adjust or to نظبط الماستر كلاس based على I'm sorry about this. هلا كيف بدنا نظبط الماستر كلاس الكونتنت تبعه الكريكولم بيست على النيو فايندينجز اللي هي البزنس. قد الكولي ومايكل كولي ما عم بحكي لنا بيور بزنس زي ما طلع معنا الفايندينجز. how we're going to do the mix. فانا برايي انه كمان هذا السيرفي صار بوقت احنا فيه كوفيد، بوقت الناس تعبانه، الناس needs business. It's a very critical time. It's not an objective time. It's not a time where الناس كلياتها بوضع طبيعي. ف it is يعني basically الانديكيتور مش بالضروري يكون 100% accurate لو عملناه pre or post COVID. So basically I just want to agree with Dr. Riyad إن إذا أخذنا مرحلة هلا مرحلة وقلنا business is priority، أكيد we're not, I don't agree أو I don't think إنه it's right إن نغير ال DNA لأنها المرحلة هلا مش موضوعية. It's not objective. So at the same time we cannot ignore إنه كل الناس اللي حبوا بالماستر كلاس حبوا مايكل كولي. So we need to find the balance.
Hani, thank you for raising that. I think it's very important for everyone to hear this, basically talking about we are not going to alter anything that we do in the masterclass. It is going to be leadership focused. So we're not going to have more, let's say, a lot of business sessions or things like that. That's what I was saying, right? The masterclass has proven to be successful. We need to just constantly elevate and evaluate more leadership topics, trends, things like that. Now people have been through a lot this year. So mental health, I think that's a huge thing. It doesn't necessarily, we don't need to incorporate business into the masterclass. And when I talk about business, I talk about post the masterclass and more from an engagement perspective. So we're not going to be incorporating really business in the masterclass. I think that's proven to be, everyone loves Michael, and that is what we're going to be offering, that kind of those kind of sessions and that kind of training and that kind of leadership perspective. But then I'm just talking about after the masterclass. It's difficult to keep doing that. Because a lot of the masterclass depends on the one-to-one, the interactions with each other. So it's very difficult to bring that experience post the masterclass. And I think that's where the letdown comes in, and people expect more. So one of the things that we're doing is when we talk about business, it's really post the masterclass. So I just want to make sure that distinction is clear.
تسمح لي مستر تشيرمان أعلق بشغلة لو سمحت؟
Please, Michael.
طب أنا عم بسمع طبعا اللي عم يحصل وبيوتيفول، يعني في كونتنت وفي رقي بالحديث وفي purpose واضح، يعني إنه how do we make this even better، وفي محبة واضحة للنتورك. إحساسي إنه آخر شيء، يعني مثل ما تفضلت هلا أنت آخر شيء يوسف، بعتقد يعني وضحت الكلام أكثر من first statement، وبنيت على اللي تفضل فيه دكتور رياض وهانيا والتانيين. أنا ما أعمل فكرة إنه ما نغير الدي ان اي تبع الأورجنايزيشن. يعني ما تنسوا نحن عنا 10 سنين، إذا ملاحظين عم بحكوا عربي، عم بحكي عربي لأنه كلنا عرب بالنتيجة، هذه اسمها ديستانسينج. فنحن صرنا عندنا 10 سنين اوريدي إرث بهالموضوع، وعندنا كابيتال والأمور ماشية. هل طبعا يعني ما التحسن ما له نهاية، there's no end to progress، بس وهذا كتير منيح. بس نحن يعني we have so much to celebrate. 10 سنين من النجاح، we're going into 11th academy or 12th، نسيت هلا عدهم. there's so much that we can celebrate and analyze in a positive way. One of these things إنه نحن شخصيتنا اللي زبطت لحديت هلا إنه we are a leadership academy، ومثل ما تفضل الدكتور رياض صح، هذا اللي بيميزنا من التانيين، لأنه it takes it I think one step even further. It elevates us. هذا ما في تناقض مع الأمور التانية. وأنا فاهم بالضبط شو الشيرمان عم يجرب يحكيه، بأنه نحن عم نحكي بس موضوع البزنس as finding technical and practical areas under the tent of leadership where people can actually build connections with each other that will bring them together. Yani, what's the definition of leadership? It's about mobilizing people for a good purpose. You can do that in business, you can do it at home, you can do it in society with NGO. But definitely واحدة منهم business، فما في تناقض. فإذا نحن خلينا العباءة الكبيرة يعني our universe, our sky، السماء المطلع عليها اللي بتغطينا كلنا هي the leadership thing، لأنه هي جامعة و leadership extends to everywhere. At the same time تحت هالعباءة هذه إذا فينا نحن نشتغل أو نخلق avenues أو platform where we can create opportunities for people to build business connections ويعملوا partnerships مع بعض even better، يعني أحلى وأحلى. فما في تناقض بين اثنين، بس كمان لازم يعني نكون واضحين إنه ما نخسر شخصيتنا أو identity اللي نحن صار لنا 10 سنين بنبني فيها واللي بيميزنا عن المحلات الثانية بشكل كبير. عم بمشي ولها سامحوني شوي لأنه عم بطلع الطلعة. هلا آخر شيء بدي أقولها و this comes really من القلب، وهي التالي، إنه كل هذا حلو و adding value to each other كمان حلو beautiful، وما لازم ننقص من قيمته أبداً. يعني the more we can do that the better. بس ما بدي أنا أخفف من موضوع إنه نحن وجودنا بحياة بعض as we are يكفي ليغني حياتنا. يعني هلا 200 شخص منيح، 50 واحد منهم حضروا، يعني في بعض بيشوفوها رقم قليل، بس كمان يعني مطلع على الاسامي في ناس من زمان ما اجوا. شفت مثلا اسم رمزي برامكي ميلا 1، يعني واحد من 10 سنين صار له مش جاي، هلا يجي يحضر، شوف قديش في كونكشن. فانا بالنسبه لي وجود شخص مثل رمزي، مثل هانية، مثل اي واحد معتز، مثل مين ما كان، بغض النظر اذا في منفعه ماديه او مهنيه او that extends to any other thing, just their presence in our life, the fact that I can see them in academies or I can see them in in reunions, that alone for me it's enriching enough to do whatever I can to keep these people in my life. فتمني عليكم حافظوا على الايدنتيتي، توسعوا فيها قد ما فيكم لتعطوها more value من ناحيه السبسيديز تبعوا لها، بس never ever يعني forget انه we as individuals the value that we bring to each other's life بالنتيجة this is the jewel. يعني هذا هو الجوهر، وحتى لو ما في شيء ثاني بس to have these people as our circle of friends خاصة بهالأيام الصعبة يكفي ويزيد. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Well said, Michael.
May I add something, guys?
Sure, go ahead. So I can go back to the comments. Go ahead.
مساء الخير يا جماعة. رفل، أنا صار لي فترة طويلة جدا I'm not connected، لكن بالبداية thank you الحمد لله أنه we are meeting again هنا. شيء ثاني أنه شكرا جزيلا الهانية اللي بدأت تتكلم عربي، وبعدين مايكل الله يسلمك we miss you a lot. الحمد لله أنه كملت بالعربي، لأن إحنا بالأخير مرات نوصل مرحلة as much as we are used to use English terms، لكن مع هذا I think نتواصل أكثر بلغتنا الأقرب حتى لو كل واحد بينا شوية ملونة لهجته غير شكل. But I so agree، جدا agree بالحفاظ على الايدنتيتي. Okay, I've been so long away، بس اللي دا يرجعني هالايام للجروب I'm just checking what's there on Mela. I miss essence of Mela. I said this few days ago last week or 10 days ago to Muzna when she reached out to me. I was so happy انه الحمد لله احنا مرة ثانية في حد يشيك يشوف whoever has been there adding a few notes على الجروب. Maybe there is a chance إنه نسحب الما موجودين. Keeping the essence of Mela was amazing. يعني it's a great mission by itself. The master class is definitely, it is the whole jewel of Mela. لكن business wise it's definitely required. But I would suggest something. How about if we create kind of committees within the same Mela؟ يعني ما لها علاقة بالchapters، ممكن تكون مثلا let's say business development committee, social development committee، مثلا youth development committee لها علاقة تتعاطى مع أولادنا، مع الجيل الثاني، مع الناس اللي أشب. self development areas مثلا يكون مثلا we create programs that we set some people, if they are interested, we create book things, يعني book clubs or something that it has a value. There is an end result that we need to reach, and we discuss it and we help each other in this area. Then the business development will kind of reach to different countries wherever Mela, كل العرب، وإن شاء الله حاليا when we'll expand to North Africa, that will be amazing. بعدها when هاي الكوميتيز كلها شوية تصير stronger وكل شيء يصير شوي أقوى ونمسك بعضنا أكثر ونتقاوى أكثر and everything, then we can reach للother سيالا وسيرلا ونال كلهم. I don't know if this is a valid proposal or not, but I believe there is a lot of potential there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Welcome back. It's good to hear from you. يعني, I don't know you in person, but inshallah we'll meet نتقابل soon when we have a masterclass in Tunis. Let me continue with, it's again about the same topic. We have Ramzi who agrees with Dr. Riyad's point. Ahmed Yahya is saying something really great. He's saying that he wants to enhance and hope, yani he wishes that we can enhance our relationship with the sister networks from a business level too. It's a huge potential out there, dreaming about one network one day. Ruba is saying that business is very broad and each one of us can have a definition and expectations. So what are we going to do to further define what we'll offer under business? Many people say, Ruba also agrees with Hania's observation, Hiba as well, Sabrina as well agrees with Hania. And then we have Raed Nimri who agrees with Michael that it does not contradict. And Shukaman. And Rafal wanted to add something here. I'm not sure if you still want to, but go ahead, Rafal.
Oh, no, this is it. I just added. I was just speaking now.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
And these are the committees that you're talking about? Yes. Any more questions? And to be honest, before we move on from this point, I just want to بس بدي أثني على كلام Michael ويوسف. I think because I've seen the entire focus group and I heard everyone in the focus groups and I've talked about a lot about this. It is what Michael said. It's a leadership and Dr. Riyad, it's a leadership network. But and we have pillars in it. The bond between us obviously came as number one. And that is something that we're still proud of and that we will continue to enhance and nurture. The second pillar is the leadership in terms of the masterclass. And what came from the focus groups is we need more post-masterclass. So that obviously one of the recommendations was that the curriculum committee needs to concentrate on mini masterclasses or something to enhance the leadership offering and development to members on a long term versus just masterclass. The third pillar, that this is what Yusuf is trying to say, is the business value, adding a business value that will hopefully increase the engagement. And because so far we haven't done much in it in a systematic way, this is what hopefully the new initiatives based with the BCG will do, so that this third pillar becomes a huge part of why you come back to Mela. That does not negate and does not contradict everything else, but it's just a pillar that's been identified as something that has been lacking, and we need to increase our attention on it. I don't know if anybody else has any questions before we give the floor to Yusuf to wrap up. If anybody, I think all the questions on the chat are done. Anybody else wants to say something before we give it to Yusuf?
بس كان بدي أوضح شغلة بموضوع إنه البزنس is very broad and how can we include business in the أول شيء business and leadership أصلاً بالfocus group business came as a top priority to further engage and further enhance the value offered by the network, that's for sure. But that didn't take from the fact إنه على طول بعدها إجت leadership. فأساساً حتى from members definition point of view leadership comes next, and this will not definitely change the DNA of the company, I'm sure. Not بس في شغله بدي اوضحها على موضوع البزنس is very broad and how can we tackle the business. And I think our awareness plan on business continuity will tell everybody within the network, you know, we have identified certain aspects to start with. طبعا it's work in progress, رح نضلنا بنتغير وبنتطور as we go along, but definitely some elements of business have already been identified and tackled through business continuity. And the more everybody's engaged in this business activity, the more everybody will know, and definitely everybody's opinions and feedback and recommendation will be taken into consideration.
Thank you, Yusuf. Yeah, the floor is all yours.
Just want to, just thank you guys so much. I mean, this shows that you all care, as Michael said, 40, 50, it might look like a small number, but I don't think it is. And all these comments raised by you, and it really shows, that you care about this network, you love the people in this network. So thank you for that. We're going to keep building on this momentum. And, there's always room for improvement. We can always be better. And we will, and and it is your network. Remember that, and we will lead it together. And God bless you all. Thank you all so much again for your time, and I really, really look forward to seeing you soon on the mini master class. Actually, the chapter president of Palestine, Umar, recommended this idea, and he said, since we're moving the master class to October, why don't we have something virtual? It could be over a weekend. For all our members, including the new recruits, and we love the idea. Inshallah, we're going to work on it and see if we can, bring this to life. I don't think it's something. I think it's something very manageable. And as I said, we're going to have a session on the 12th of December. Celebrating all of you. So please, please, please be there. And we hope to have more updates for you, and especially on the launch of the BCG platform. Thank you, guys. Enjoy your Saturday.
Can I add a last thing, Yusuf?
Please.
If you allow me.
Yes, please.
Because في مايكل ويوسف يعني حكوا على هذه النقطة. أنا لما بحكي إنه ليش في عنا أقل من 50 واحد من نتورك فيها ما يقارب 300، أنا ما بستخف في العدد 50 أو الأقل. أنا اللي بلفت انتباه الجروب ككل إنه هذا الإكسرسايز is a very 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 important exercise اللي من وراه ممكن يروح في أشياء استراتيجية لحياة ومصير ميلا. كنت بتوقع على الأقل يكون في عنا at least 50% من الممبرز لأنه they care about ميلا. عشان هيك أنا بقول لازم إنه إحنا لما بنفكر deep في هذا السؤال which means إنه we have a problem in the engagement الحقيقية لميلا. إذا في موضوع له علاقة في strategic direction وحياة ميلا والستركتشر تبعت ميلا بيجي عنا at most 40 واحد من أصل 300. Then I think we should focus بالstrategic direction تبعتنا how to get people back. بس just to
لا شكرا مستنصر. لا صح لسانك. You're completely right in what you said. شكرا للجميع.
Thank you كتير. ومنتصر we're gonna send, it's recorded, the session is recorded, so we will send it to everybody. وبحب أشكر كتير ريماء ومهتز كمان مرة ويوسف ورانيا for everything they have been doing, spending so much time with me to make me understand better who we are. And also I want to thank the communications committee, which is really supporting me a lot, headed by Maisa and Elisar. And Michael, sorry, and we have also Raed who joined. He joined 2 committees actually, the comms and the masterclass, and I want to thank him a lot for all his input. And of course, Elisar, who is always there in comms. And Michael, I'd love to attend your session. قد ما سمعت عنها يعني everyone I call, and I want to thank COVID because actually the one-on-one is far better than just meeting in a group and not really knowing each one of you. Because if there wasn't COVID, I would have, taken the flight and go to Dubai or wherever, and I would meet people in group because there is no time. But I think even if it's distance, at least I know that when I see you again, Rafal, Sarah, Manal, everybody here, I will feel that I know you already. So thank you very much for this great opportunity to know you more.
Thank you, Muzna. Thank you, everyone. Once again, once we have the summary from Yusuf, we will send you the entire presentation with his comments as a PDF file that will be emailed to you. And if you have further questions, definitely do not hesitate to ask us. And جد انبسطنا فيكم.
صغير تعرفي تليفون جايا؟ احكي جايا.
مايكل. thank you all and
سوري جماعة كان عندنا حالة طوارئ معلش.
لا مش مشكلة فكرتك عم تحكي معها بالميتينج. thank you all again و have a great night وجد مشتاقين لكم كلكم يعني إن شاء الله نشوفكم جميعا وبالسلامة يا رب الله يخليكم.
ويعطيكم العافية اللي عملوا هالإكسرسايز هذه واللي شاركوا فيه وكل اللي حضروا يعطيكم العافية يعني ولو إنه ساعة حكينا بس ايموشنلي هيك رجعتوا لنا ذكريات الأكاديمي والريونيونز هذه لحالها يعني هيك اكزاكتلي حركت المشاعر هذه كلها لحالها هيك. It was a beautiful gift. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great night everyone. Thank you. Bye bye.
يعطيكم العافية جميعا.
الله معكم. مع السلامة.
السلام.